Your glass was still beside mine when the waiter dimmed the room. Two circles left upon the table, like the shape of me and you. Your chair was turned toward the window, your coat no longer there, but the candle leaned between us, as if you were still sitting near. You had asked me for an answer, I had asked for more time. Then you stood without a warning and left your silence next to mine. Your glass was still beside mine, though your hand had let it go. The wine was warm, the night was ending, and I knew what I should know. Some goodbyes begin so quietly, you do not hear the final line. Your glass was still beside mine, but your heart was no longer mine. The pianist played our favorite near the ballroom down the hall. I remembered how you held me at the first note of that song. You said music made us honest when our voices could not be. But that night every chord between us only showed you leaving me. You had waited through my distance, you had carried every doubt. I kept thinking love was patient while your hope was running out. Your glass was still beside mine, though your hand had let it go. The wine was warm, the night was ending, and I knew what I should know. Some goodbyes begin so quietly, you do not hear the final line. Your glass was still beside mine, but your heart was no longer mine. There were roses in the center, there was rain beyond the glass. There were years inside the question you had finally dared to ask. Do you still see us together when you picture growing old? I looked down into the candle and let the whole room turn cold. You did not need a perfect promise, you just needed something true. But I searched so long for language that the moment passed us through. Your glass was still beside mine, though your hand had let it go. The wine was warm, the night was ending, and I knew what I should know. Some goodbyes begin so quietly, you do not hear the final line. Your glass was still beside mine, but your heart was no longer mine. I wanted to run through the lobby, I wanted to call your name, I wanted to become the woman you had waited years to claim. But courage after losing is an easy thing to find. The hardest truth arrives too clearly when the doorway. Maybe you turned once toward me. Maybe one word would have changed us. Maybe love had ceased to believe. I will never know the answer. I will only know that night you left before the candle faded, and I let you leave my not yet, though you were gone. He cleared the flowers and the silver, but left both glasses sitting on. I watched the rain erase the city till the morning touched the street, and every memory at that table pulled an empty chair toward me. Then I lifted up your glass and placed it gently next to mine. Two things once meant to share a table, now divided by goodbye. Your glass was still beside mine, though your hand had let it go. The wine was warm, the night was ending, and I knew what I should know. Some goodbyes begin so quietly, you do not hear the final line. Your glass was still beside mine, but your heart was no longer mine. Your glass was still beside mine when the chandeliers went dim. I whispered every honest answer I had never given him. Then I left them on the table, two unfinished cups of wine. Your glass. The waiter remembered your name when I walked in alone. He looked behind me for a moment, like he thought you might come. Then he led me to our table near the rain-covered glass, and asked if I still wanted the same red wine we had. I said, only bring one glass now, but his eyes had understood. Some rooms remember people long after people could. The waiter remembered your name, and the night came back again. The candle, the unanswered question, the way our story ended then. He remembered how you laughed there before silence made us change. The waiter remembered your name, though I had tried to forget the pain. He said we used to stay till closing while the pianist played low. You always thanked him for the music before we gathered up our coats. He remembered your burgundy jacket and the flowers you would bring, how you requested one old ballad every first night of spring. I smiled like those were simple details from another distant life, but every word placed you beside me in the empty chair that night. The waiter remembered I had tried to forget the pain. He asked me how you had been doing. I said we do not speak these days. His hand stopped folding the white linen. Then he quietly looked away. He said, you seem so right together. I thought you both would last. I watched the candle touch the silver and saw our whole unfinished past. People see the way love shines, they rarely see it dim. They remember two hearts dancing, not the distance growing in them. The waiter remembered your name, and the night came back again. The candle, the unanswered question, the way our story ended then. He remembered how you laughed there before silence made us change. The waiter remembered your name, though I had tried to forget the pain. I wanted to ask if you returned there after leaving me that night. If you sat alone beside the window, trying to decide what had been right. Did you order your usual dinner? Did you watch the ballroom door? Did you hope I might come looking and choose us one time more? But I was afraid of the answer, so I let the question rest. Some truths feel safer unspoken when the heart has done its best. table by the rainy window was where our story learned to grow. You would arrive before the evening and watch the city lights below. I always ordered something different. You always chose the same red wine, then reached across the linen and placed your quiet hand in mine. We were younger than our questions. We believed love answered all. Every night inside that corner made the outside world feel small. The table by the rainy window knew the best of me and you. Every promise, every laughter, every dream we thought came true. Before the silence filled the glasses, before goodbye became the view, the table by the rainy window held the life we almost knew. We celebrated your promotion with a candle in a cake. You said one day we would travel when we had enough to take. We talked about a house with music and a room painted warm gold. You said you wanted Sunday mornings with someone you could grow old beside. I said forever sounded easy with your fingers wrapped in mine. Neither one of us could see then how forever changes shape with time. The table by the rainy window knew the best of me and you. Every promise, every laughter, every dream we thought came true. Before the silence filled the glasses, before goodbye became the view, the table by the rainy window held the life we almost knew. It watched us through the middle years, when work replaced the nights, when every dinner started later and every touch became polite. You still asked about my worries, I still asked about your day, but somewhere underneath the answers we had less and less to say. We were careful not to argue, we were careful not to blame, and in trying not to hurt each other, we let distance take love's place. The table by the rainy window knew the best of me and you. Every promise, every laughter, every dream we thought came true. Before the silence filled the glasses, before goodbye became the view, the table by the rainy window held the life we almost knew. There was one night in September when you asked if I still cared. I said of course, without looking at the sorrow in your stare. You said love was more than staying, more than sharing time and space. It was choosing one another, even when the years had changed. I wanted to say I understood you, cooled. You looked out toward the traffic as the rain moved down the pane, and I knew that something precious would not leave that room the same. First night to the last, the table by the rainy window held our future and our past. Tonight I'll touch the empty chair across from where I sat. The rain kept moving down the window, and the room remembered us. The table by the rainy window still waited in the dark. It remembers us. Before the silence, before goodbye. The song we never finished dancing to was playing down the hall. You stood beneath the chandelier with your shadow on the wall. Your hand was resting on my waist, mine trembled in your own. Then you asked the question I had always feared would come. The piano kept on turning through the words I could not find, and the rhythm moved around us while our hearts fell out of time. The song we never finished dancing to still plays inside my mind. We stopped before the final verse and left the truth behind. You walked away before the music reached the part where love survived. The song we never finished dancing to still waits for us at night. You said, tell me where we are going, tell me what you see ahead. I looked toward the rainy windows and heard the things you had not said. You were tired of borrowed evenings, tired of standing near the door, tired of loving someone who was always asking for more time. I could feel your hand grow lighter, I could feel the room grow cold. Still I held you like a memory instead of someone I could hold. The song we never finished dancing to still plays inside my mind. We stopped before the final verse and left the truth behind. You walked away before the music reached the part where love survived. The song we never finished dancing to still waits for us at night. one clear answer. I had offered one more pause. Love cannot keep on dancing when no one knows what it is for. The song we never finished dancing to still plays inside my mind. We stopped before the final verse and left the truth behind. You walked away before the music reached the part where love survived. The song we never finished dancing to still waits for us at night. I remember every measure, every breath between the notes, the way your eyes were asking me to give you somewhere safe to go. I remember how the strings rose as you slowly let me go, and how the room kept moving like the world did not know. I should have crossed the distance, I should have called you back, I should have said I see forever, even if I am afraid of that. But the final chord came closer, and my courage stayed behind. So you left before the ending, and the ending stayed inside. Years later, in that same hotel, the pianist played it slow. I was sitting near the ballroom when I heard the first few notes. Every candle, every doorway, every promise filled the air. And for one breath I turned beside me, thinking you might still be there. But the chair remained untouched, and the night went on alone. Some songs become the rooms where unfinished love still goes. The song we never finished dancing to still plays inside my mind. We stopped before the final verse and left the truth behind. You walked away before the music reached the part where love survived. The song we never finished dancing to still waits for us at night. The song we never finished dancing to reached its final note this time. I stayed until the room was empty and let the music finish right. I did not ask the past to join me, I did not close my eyes. The song we never finished dancing to finally ended with a night. The pianist lifted both his hands, and silence filled the room. I thanked him for the music. You asked if I still wanted us. I looked down at my hands. The candle moved between the glasses while you waited where I sat. There were years inside your question. There was nowhere left to hide, but I let the room grow quiet and made silence choose my side. I thought you knew I loved you, I thought staying proved enough, but a heart should never have to guess when it is asking to be loved. I gave you silence for an answer when you needed something true. I let fear speak in my place and watched it carry you. You were asking for my whole heart, I gave you one more empty night. I gave you silence for an answer, and silence told you goodbye. You asked if I could see you in the years beyond that room, if I still imagine Sunday mornings and growing older next to you. I had pictured every moment, but had never said it clear. I kept love behind my pride until it sounded like indifference. You did not need a grand confession or a perfect future plan. You only needed me to reach across and place my heart inside your hand. I gave you silence for an answer when you needed something true. I let fear speak in my place and watched it carry you. You were asking for my whole heart, I gave you one more empty night. I gave you silence for an answer, and silence told you goodbye. Placed it near your glass and said, I cannot keep believing in a love afraid to last. Your voice was calm and gentle, that made the ending hurt much more. You were not trying to punish me, you were simply closing the door. I wanted to say, please stay here, I am frightened, but I choose you. Instead I watched you rise and let the worst thing become true. I gave you silence for an answer when you needed something true. I let fear speak in my place and watched it carry you. You were asking for my whole heart, I gave you one more empty night. I gave you silence for an answer, and silence told you goodbye. I blamed the room for feeling colder, I blamed the rain against the glass, I blamed the years, the work, the timing, and every shadow from the past. But none of them had held my tongue, none had turned my eyes away. I was the one who chose the quiet when love was asking me to stay. I had mistaken being guided for a stronger way to live, but strength is not withholding what the heart was made to give. You had offered me your future without demanding certainty, and I answered your devotion. the fear inside of me. Sat beneath the same low light. The waiter placed one glass before me, and the room recalled that night. I spoke the answer to the window, though you were nowhere near. Yes, I saw you in my future. I was only ruled by fear. The words came easily in absence as the rain began to fall. Some truths become their clearest when they cannot change it all. I gave you silence for an answer when you needed something true. I let fear speak in my place and watched it carry you. You were asking for my whole heart. I gave you silence for an answer, and silence told you goodbye. I gave you silence for an answer, but the answer should have been yes. I still believe in our love, and I want to try again. I cannot place those words before you. We sat across from what we had become at the table near the rain. Two people dressed for dinner, trying not to speak of change. You moved the candle to the center. I straightened silver by my plate. Every little motion bought us time, but time had come too late. We had practiced being careful, till careful was all we knew. There was love beneath the silence, but no road from me to you. We sat across from what we had become and barely knew its face. The laughter had grown distant, the warmth had left its place. We were still wearing all our memories, but nothing fit the same. We sat across from what we had become and could not give it back our names. You asked if I remembered our first evening in that room. The waiter brought 2 candles and the roses were in bloom. I said I still remembered how your hand reached out for mine. Then both of us looked at the empty space that had grown there over time. We could name every beginning, every promise, every song, but neither one could say exactly when the feeling had gone wrong. We sat across from what we had become and barely knew its face. The laughter had grown distant, the warmth had left its place. We were still wearing all our memories, but nothing fit the same. We sat across from what we had become and mercy in the loneliness that waited with you at the door. You did not raise your voice then, you did not turn away. You only said love cannot live on who we were yesterday. We sat across from what we had become and barely knew its face. The laughter had grown distant, the warmth had left its place. We were still wearing all our memories, but nothing fit the same. We sat across from what we had become and could not give it back. Our names, I wanted to defend us with every year we shared. The birthdays and the winter nights, the thousand ways we cared. But history is not a shelter when the present cannot breathe, and staying near a memory is not the same as choosing me. You said, I know you love me in the only way you knew, but I've spent too many evenings feeling lonely next to you. I looked down at our two glasses and saw the truth inside. We had not lost love in one moment, we had slowly stepped aside. The rain became much softer and the restaurant began to close. The waiter cleared the nearby tables but left us there alone. You reached across the linen and placed your hand on mine, not with hope that we could save it, but with kindness said goodbye. I held your fingers gently for the first time in too long. Sometimes tenderness returns when both hearts know that love is gone. We sat across from what we had become and finally saw its face. Not failure, not betrayal, just two hearts that lost their way. We were still wearing all our memories, though nothing fit the same. We sat across from what we had become and spoke without assigning blame. We sat across from what we had become till the candles faded low. You said, I will always love you, but I think we have to go. I nodded through the silence, though my heart still called your name. We sat across from what we had become and let it leave the room unchanged. You stood and took your coat, I stayed beside the glass. No anger crossed between us, only everything we had. We sat across from what we had become, then walked away as two. We sat across from what we had become. You came back before closing time while I was waiting for the check. The waiter looked toward the doorway, then quietly stepped back. You stood beneath the chandelier with rain across your coat, and every word I had rehearsed for years disappeared inside my throat. I had imagined this 1,000 ways, but never quite like this. No grand arrival, no explanation, only your eyes asking if you came back before closing time. When I thought the night was through, you stood beside our empty table like the memory of you. I did not know if love was waiting or only one last truth to find. You came back before closing time and stopped the hands of time. You asked if you could sit there in the chair you used to take. I moved your glass a little closer, though my fingers would not stay still. You said the city looked much different, but the room had hardly changed, and smiled at how the pianist still played everything the same. We talked about the simple things, the weather and the train, as if years of unanswered silence were not sitting in the rain. You came back before closing time. When I thought the night was through, you stood beside our empty table like the memory of you. I did not know if love was waiting or only one last truth to find. You came back before closing time and stopped the hands of time. You said you found the little message that the waiter kept for me. You wondered if I ever read it or understood what you had meant. I took the folded receipt from the pocket near my heart and said I carried it for months, but did not know where I should start. You looked down at your hands then and whispered, neither did I. Two people who had learned to leave, still frightened to arrive. You came back before closing time. When I thought the night was through, you stood beside our empty table like the memory of you. I did not know if love was waiting or only one last truth to find. You came back before closing time and stopped the hands of time. You said I did not come for promises or to rewrite what we became. I only wanted you to know I never left without the pain. I loved you through the distance, I loved you when I chose to go. But loving someone is not always enough to make a future grow. I said I finally understand you and the loneliness you knew. I thought my quiet meant devotion, but it only wounded you. I cannot ask you for another life or take back what I did, but I can give you every honest word that fear once kept hidden. watching, only close enough to ask what lived behind. I moved my fingers toward you and let them rest against your hand. No one spoke of new beginnings, but both of us could understand. You came back before closing time. When I thought the night was through, you stood beside our empty table, and I finally spoke the truth. I said I loved you through the silence, though I failed to make it shine. You came back before closing time and let me say it one last time. Oh, you came back before closing time with no promise in your eyes, only kindness, age, and courage, and no reason left to hide. Maybe love would not return to us, maybe it had changed its mind, but you came back before closing time and brought peace into the night. The candles faded slowly, the rain softened on the street. You asked if I would walk with you until the station opened. We left the room together, but did not name the road ahead. Walk with me just for tonight. No more silence, no more hiding. You came back before closing. We walked until the first train came, through streets still wet with rain. The hotel lights grew small behind us, but neither spoke its name. Your shoulder brushed against my coat, the way it had before, and every quiet step between us asked what we were walking toward. The city had not started waking, the night had not released us yet. We were somewhere past forgiveness, but not beyond regret. We walked until the first train came, with no promise for the day. Just two hearts beside each other, finding words along the way. I did not ask you to return, you did not ask me to explain. We walked until the first train came and let the silence lose its name. We passed the cafe by the station, where we once met every week. The chairs were stacked behind the windows, and the street was still asleep. You smiled and said you always ordered coffee stronger than you liked. I said you always knew the truth before I brought it into light. There was comfort in remembering without begging time to turn. Some memories stop hurting when you finally let them burn. We walked until the first train came, with no promise for the day. Just two hearts beside each other, finding words along the way. I did not ask you to return, you did not ask me to explain. We walked until the first train came and let the silence lose its name. I built a life around me, but some rooms stayed unfinished. You said you learned to live more openly, to say when something hurt. You learned that leaving with compassion did not make the leaving worse. We had both become much kinder than the lovers we had been. It was strange to find each other after finding ourselves again. We walked until the first train came, with no promise for the day. Just two hearts beside each other, finding words along the way. I did not ask you to return. You did not ask me to explain. We walked until the first train came, and let the silence lose its name. I wanted to ask about tomorrow. You wanted to ask the same, but the question felt too fragile for the hour and in the rain. So we spoke about the ballroom and the song we left unfinished, how we both had kept that evening, though neither one would admit it. Then you stopped beneath the station clock and turned your face to mine. You said, I do not know what this is, but I am grateful for tonight. I said, we do not have to name it. We have named too little and too much. Let this moment be a kindness. Let this walk be enough. If you want to, or let the past be free. I folded it once more, then placed it gently in your hands. Some things belong to both of us, some endings need no evidence. We walked to be enough. The room felt smaller without the regret when I returned there on my own. The table stood beside the window, but it no longer felt like home. The candlelight was only candlelight, the rain was only rain, and your empty chair looked peaceful without asking me to change. For years I filled that room with questions till the walls could barely breathe. Now the truth had made more space there for the woman I could be. The room felt smaller without the regret, without the weight of what went wrong. No unfinished conversation, conversation, no last dance holding on. I could see the night for what it was, not a debt I had to pay. The room felt smaller without the regret, and I finally walked away. The waiter brought one glass of water and asked if I would like the wine. I smiled and said, "Not this evening, I have had enough of time." He nodded like he understood me, then placed fresh roses near the light. The same small things that once had hurt me were simply beautiful that night. Memory had lost its sharpness, it no longer pulled me through. Every object stayed exactly where it was, but nothing belonged to you. The room felt smaller without the regret, without the weight of what went wrong. No unfinished conversation, no last dance holding on. I could see the night for what it was, not a debt I had to pay. The room felt smaller without the regret, and I finally walked away. Future had to be. You were no longer just the person who had left me in that room. You were someone who had loved me and had needed room to move. I was no longer just the woman who had failed to make you stay. I was someone who had learned from loss and found a kinder way. The room felt smaller without the regret, without the weight of what went wrong. No unfinished conversation, no last dance holding on. I could see the night for what it was, not a debt I had to pay. The room felt smaller without the regret, and I finally walked away. I had made that table sacred, I had made the rain a sign. I had turned one night of silence into all the years behind. But love was larger than our ending, larger than my fear and shame. We had lived 1,000 moments that deserved a gentler name. So I thank the room for holding what we could not hold ourselves. The laughter, wine, and questions, the old music on the shelf. Then I stopped asking every shadow to return what time had taken. Some rooms remain unfinished, so the heart can finish changing. The pianist played something new I had never heard before. No memory came beside it, no footsteps crossed the floor. I listened without comparing, without wishing you were near, and felt a quiet that had nothing to do with you. The room felt smaller without the regret, without the weight of what went wrong. No unfinished conversation, no last dance holding on. I could see the night for what it was, not a debt I had to pay. The room felt smaller without the regret, and I finally walked away. The room felt smaller without the regret, but my whole life open wide. I could keep the love with gratitude without keeping it alive. You were part of who I had been, not the place I had to stay. The room felt smaller without the regret, and the world grew larger that day. I left a little before midnight, while the candles still burned bright. No final look toward the window, no need to close the night. The room stayed where I left it, and I carried only peace. Only peace, no more waiting, no more sorrow I release. I opened the curtains to the morning and let the whole room change. The rain had washed the glass clean, the street no longer looked the same. Your chair was only furniture, your glass was put away, and every shadow that once held you softened in the light of day. I had lived inside that evening, long after you were gone. But morning does not ask permission, it simply carries on. I opened the curtains to the morning and let the darkness leave. I kept the love that made me stronger and released what made me grieve. The room we left unfinished did not need us to remain. I opened the curtains to the morning and began my life again. I folded up the table linen and returned the little key. I placed the old receipt beside the photograph of you and me, not as proof that we had failed, not as something to regret, but as pieces of a beautiful life I was ready to protect. Some memories belong in sunlight, not hidden from the day. They can rest without becoming a reason not to walk away. I opened the curtains to the morning and let the darkness leave. I kept the love that made me stronger and released what made me grieve. The room we left unfinished did not need us to remain. I opened the curtains to the morning and began my life again. until the first train came. how your voice had lost its sorrow when you softly spoke my name. We did not promise one another that the past would be restored. We only gave the truth a place where it had never lived before. That was more than I had hoped for, more than years of wondering. We did not need another lifetime to complete what love had been. I opened the curtains to the morning and let the darkness leave. I kept the love that made me stronger and released what made me grieve. The room we left unfinished did not need us to remain. I opened the curtains to the morning and began my life again. I used to think an ending had to close each open door, had to answer every question, had to give back what was lost. But peace was not a perfect sentence or the future changing course. It was knowing we had loved without demanding something more. The empty room was never empty. It had held our finest years. It had heard our quiet laughter. It had witnessed all our fears. But rooms are made for living, not for waiting on a ghost. And hearts are made to open, even after what they lose. Downstairs, the hotel lobby was beginning another day. Fresh flowers stood beneath the chandelier where you once turned away. The waiter smiled and asked me if I planned to stay a while. I said no, I think I am ready, and he understood my smile. The doors opened toward the city, and the air was cool and new. There were streets I had not traveled, there were songs not tied to you. I opened the curtains to the morning and let the darkness leave. I kept the love that made me stronger and released what made me grieve. The room we left unfinished did not need us to remain. I opened the curtains to the morning and began my life again. I opened the curtains to the morning as the skyline turned to gold. I was not erasing our story, I was simply letting go. You will always be remembered, but I will not live in yesterday. I opened the curtains to the morning and gave my heart another day. The table by the rainy window will still be there tonight. The piano will keep playing